Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.thebestdamnpodcast.tv. Follow me, Instagram, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, please make sure to hit that like, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and share this link. Spread it far and wide. That way new people can find us and new people can see. Click that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified for all of our future videos. And keep in mind, guys, we are completely viewer powered. That means we're fully funded and supported by you, the listener and the viewer. So if you'd like to donate and support to the channel, the links are in the description box below. Tonight, rain, sleet, or snow, I will be doing the last private show for the donors in the month of August. I don't care if one person is watching. I will be doing it tonight on Discord. I believe I'm going to be going at 11:30 Eastern PM. So 11:30 Eastern PM time. I'll be going live tonight over on Discord for the private show for those of you guys that are interested in checking that out and watching. Also, just as a heads up, this September will be the last month that I am doing the Best Damn Podcast. So this will be the last month that I'm doing this full time. I'm actually going to be starting an entirely new project, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be starting a tarot and astrology channel and doing some other things on the side while I'm doing that, just kind of as a way to, really just shake things up. Like on a more serious note, just August was by far probably just the hardest month I've had in a very, very long time. So it's like, it's not that I don't love to do it or anything like that. I absolutely love doing what I do. But, we're not getting support anymore. And, you got to be able to take care of yourself. And that's like been a big motto and a big theme for me, I guess. And like practicing what telling people, you got to love yourself. And I feel like as much as it's all about, being in service to others, it's also about when you give all of your energy and you put all your energy into something, you want to feel like it's reciprocated. And when you get too much stress and too much pressure put on, the financial side, it takes away from the work anyways. It takes away from the spirit of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And just makes the whole quality of everything go down. So I figured start a new passion project. I love to do tarot. I love to do astrology. This will give me a new creative outlet, something that I can do, and really still be able to express myself, still be able to pursue the things that I feel have, great purpose for me, which is my spirituality. Like that's pretty much number one in my life. It is number one in my life. A fresh start too, something to be excited about. I got a lot of new things that are fresh starts in my life. A lot of new things that I'm trying to start in life that, like I told you too, Virgo month, right? Like the new moon in Virgo, this is about transformation. So it's like I've almost been, I guess, waiting for my birthday month too. So if you guys want to hook me up with a birthday gift, a birthday donation, that'd be much appreciated. I am asking everybody, we're at the end of the month. This is the time where, all the bills are due, and this is how, we're able to even keep going. So, and this is how I support myself. If you can, please donate and give. I would greatly appreciate it. But this month is all about transformation to me, and it's all about nurturing, healing, and serving others. So the best way we can always serve others is by making sure that we're good. And I told you guys, it really does start with nurturing yourself and healing yourself. And as many attacks as we've experienced over, like it really saddens me, because I feel like we've tried to create a cool community where people can just be themselves and really express whatever ideas they have and share anything they want without censorship. We're always going to have haters and people that just don't really appreciate it or see value in it, or, whatever. And, I think one of my flaws is I've been too open. Maybe that's a flaw, but I've been too open. I've shared my problems with people and, told people, the things about myself, and it just kind of ended up being used against me in the end, and people would use it to gossip about me, and, that stuff stings. I don't care, who you are, like, whether you're doing YouTube videos or, you're kicking it in a cubicle, it never feels good to have people talk bad about you. It never feels good to, be in lack or to go without what you need. It never feels good to, to feel like people behind you supporting what you do. You know what I mean? Like, we all know that feeling, or those feelings. We've all been in those places before. Like, so, rather than kind of sit in that, I've decided, like, the very best thing I can do is, do my very best throughout the month of September to try to bring, the best stuff I can as I'm starting my new project, and, go in full throttle on something new. So I do want to start today off with an attitude of gratitude. This is something new I'm just trying to do in my life normally, whether I was doing a video or not. This is how, I like to do things now. So I do want to say big ups and, so much gratitude and thanks to each and every one of you, just for, especially you guys that have been there over the years, and watch me grow and watch the channel grow and evolve and change, and just all the different ideas and stuff. All of you guys that take the time to just watch, share the links out there, that way people see us. And those of you that are, so generous and, kind, and you donate and you support me, without you guys, I probably wouldn't have done it half as long, just to be all the way honest. But it's been the people that's really, really kept me going, because I felt like it's been, family. I've made some really good friends. Like, my last 5 girlfriends came from this community. I mean, literally. So, I've made, a lot of friends and a lot of connections along the way. So I just want you guys to know how grateful I am for everything that you do. And, just say thank you for that, because it has meant a whole lot to me. So thank you. Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me fine. Let me kind of pull up a chat here and see. We got a lot of stuff going on, so we should be cool. Everybody hit the thumbs up if you're in the chat for me. Definitely appreciate it. We got a lot of interesting things, and this is a midday special. It's because I'm going to be busy tonight doing the private show, so I wanted to go ahead and knock the show out during the middle of the day. That way we could be able to do the Discord tonight. So, Jerusalem Post: 4 asteroids to fly past the Earth in the end of August. NASA. The 4 asteroids in question, designated 2022 QP3, 2022 QX4, 2017 BU, and 2022 QX1, are all relatively small, with estimated sizes ranging from 24 meters at minimum to 76 meters at maximum. 4 asteroids are set to pass by the Earth in the last days of August as summer comes to an end, according to NASA's asteroid tracker. Which asteroids are coming towards the Earth? The 4 asteroids in question, designated 2022 QP3, 2022 QX4, 2017 BU, and 2022 QX1, relatively small, with estimated sizes ranging from 24 meters to 76 meters. Luckily, the asteroids are not very big, as they range in size. The first one, 2022 QP3, and some of them are passing today. So set to pass by Earth on August 28th has a 55 meters, according to the Center for the NEOs at NASA's JPL. For context, 55 meters is around the same height as the Cinderella Castle in Disney World, Florida. Around an asteroid 2022 QP3 is also heading near Earth at a speed of 7.9 per second, which is equal to 28,548 kilometers per hour, or just over 23 times the speed of sound. And I don't know how many of you guys out there, this has just kind of been like a big debate for me. There's a lot of people that watch this channel and don't even fucking believe space is real, the flat earthers, a lot of their argument, is kind of centered around that, is like how fast the earth is allegedly spinning and how fast it's moving around the sun and how fast all these objects are in space and they're all flying in circles. It's just, when you really try to wrap your head around the speeds and, trajectories and, the orbital dynamics of these things, it really does make you wonder, like, honestly, is that even possible? And if so, how in the fuck do we, we stay put, and I did get a comment the other day where somebody's like, gravity's real. Well, it would have to be if this is true. Next on the list, asteroid 2022 QX4, set to pass by the Earth on the 29th. The asteroid has a maximum estimated width of 73 meters. That's around the size of a giant sequoia tree. Asteroid 2022 QX4 is also flying at the speed of approximately 8.82 kilometers per second, or 31,752 kilometers per hour. This is equivalent to 25.7 times the speed of sound. After that, we have asteroid 2017 BU, also set to come on August 29th. The asteroid is the slowest of the bunch and is also on the smaller side, with a maximum diameter estimated at 54 meters. Lastly, asteroid 2022 QX1 is set to arrive on August 31st. The asteroid around the same size as 2022 QX4 with a maximum estimated diameter of 76 meters. But this asteroid is also by far the fastest of the lot, barreling towards the Earth at a speed of approximately 21.15 kilometers per second, or 76,140 kilometers per hour. That's equivalent of around 61.66 times the speed of sound, and what a very convenient number, 61.66 times the speed of sound. Man, thank you, Tim. I really appreciate that. Yes, and well, see, and look, yeah, you even see right there. Tim Hamby says, hey homie, I'm just so glad to have found your channel and learning all the cool shit about the ancient past. Yeah, Tim's been a long time viewer, somebody I definitely appreciate. And Global Witness in the house. If you guys haven't checked out Derek Bro's Global Witness, that's my homie right there too. Says, been nice collaborating with you. The Global Witness is going away, and see, and that's the thing. That, to me, it shouldn't be so much of like, I know it's like it's not awesome, like when, especially like I'm a Global Witness fan, I love watching Derek's content. I don't want to see it end as a person that views it and stuff, and I don't want to see this go away either, but it's like also, when I feel like most of us who started this, if we were true to our goals were to bring awareness and enlightenment and illumination to the people that watched it, or at least assist in the process, and when you're the one behind the camera or on the microphone, you're doing it publicly so people get to see from your growing experience, how you develop. And we do like the real-time study here, a lot like Derek does, just kind of real-time digging into scriptures and texts and things like that, and different topics and subject matter. So we're learning together, and as we progress and grow and develop spiritually, people just, they don't need you as much as they used to, right? They don't need to lean on you as much. So it's almost like a bittersweet thing to me. It's like, watching a lot of the people that, at one point they were coming strictly to learn, and then they're just coming for fellowship, and then they're starting their own thing, and now they're teaching people and sharing information. So it's really cool. And I imagine Derek's watched 1 million people do that. So it's really cool. But it's like things have changed so much on the social media platforms that even just to gather for like fellowship and community, they've tried to take that away from us. Like they don't want like minds to come together and discuss things that they don't want to be discussed. They especially don't want people that are actually ascending, which I believe the Global Witness family, as well as Best Damn Podcast family and some others, that's what those people are doing. Like, we're in the process of ascension and illumination, and when we get together, we really increase frequency and vibration, and that causes a big wrench in the plans of people that are in power, that are trying to oppress and suppress the consciousness of the planet as a whole, right? And they don't want the information out anyways, and now all the things that were once mystery or hidden are now becoming unveiled and revealed to us as we illuminate more and more. So it's like, and then it becomes a point of they go to great lengths to make a person like Global Witness or my life's miserable, to try to keep us from spreading information or sharing knowledge. So there is like a certain sacrifice that goes along with doing this. And I know each and every one of you guys know that, because all of us sacrifice something to pursue a spiritual path. A lot of us have lost marriages and relationships, or been estranged from family and friends. I mean, jobs. Like, I could go on and on of the different things that, the world's going to flip on you because, you're pursuing something that's going against the grain. And anytime, you go against the grain, you're going to get a little bit of friction. And that's just to be expected. And it does take a certain type of person to do what all of us are doing, because it's not popular. It's not popular. It's considered eccentric or weird or, whatever, right? Like, they've demonized the hell out of anybody who looks at anything that is not given by the mainstream. They've demonized the hell out of anybody who steps outside of the religious paradigm, right? Like, I still get people to this day that you would think have broken out of a lot of the indoctrination and the dogma that, are skittish or superstitious about books that we look at on this channel, or, things that we read. It's just, it's fucking nuts, man. And it's like, there comes a point to where, we really got to let go of what society wants us to be, and we got to let go of the things that religion has taught us, because that's an exoteric, external understanding that is meant, specifically to keep us confused and trapped and spinning our own fucking wheels eternally, right? That's been the gist of this for a long time now, in case people are not up to speed, It's to try to keep us locked into the box, and they do it through fucking labels and anything else they can do, these identifiers, to get us to identify with our ego, in some way, shape, or form, with the labels that they create, because these labels that they create, they carry energies with it, and these energies are not always good. A lot of them weigh you down and pigeonhole you and put you in places and in positions you don't want to be in. We're trying to break the yoke of the world. I'm sick of being oppressed. I don't know about you, but I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of giving a fuck what other people think. I don't know about you. But I'm just sick of it, I'm sick of following and conforming to rules I don't believe in, to authorities I don't recognize, you know? And people can say that's anarchy, or they can say whatever they want about it, you know, but the truth is the truth. Like, when you become a sovereign being, like, you understand that the only real dominion in your world is you, you know, and the God in you. That's the only thing that should truly ever have dominion or sway over anything you do, you know. And to move in compassion, and to move as someone trying to be selfless or in service of others or to help others, is looked at as weakness in our world, you know. It's just not a world I really want to be a part of anymore, or a society I want to be a part of anymore. So, however I have to create that independence, I'm willing to create that independence. And a lot of you guys have taken many routes to do it for yourselves, whether that's, you know, living a life of minimalism, or self-sustainability, or just, you know, getting away from the cities, or doing it, you know, most importantly, doing it mentally and spiritually and emotionally, and understanding that we create ties with every relationship that we have, with everything we associate with, you know. But either way, I feel like all of us are coming to that place now to where we can see, like, the illusion's crumbling, right? And those that are trapped in the illusion are crumbling with it, you know. It's like, I can't tell you how much shit I still hear. It's like, people still talking about fucking, you know, Trump and shit. Is like, how long's that been over? Like, how many people can't recognize that we're shifting into a transhumanist agenda, and that everything is revolving around, you know, electrical this, electrical that, fifth generation this, fifth generation that. You know, as the technocracy expands, people that you would consider humanist, and any true, like, person that I feel like is a seeking illumination is a real humanist, because they understand the human element, and that's where the actual illumination comes from. Is our humanity. That's what actually provides it. That's the living spark. That's where it resides. It doesn't reside in a machine. You know, no matter how much we want it to, no matter how, you know, clever we get with the different things that we create, we are never going to maximize our capabilities by trapping ourselves in a fucking hard drive or a quantum computer. And whatever dimensional doors and space and fucking time that we are opening up, you know, through, you know, the dimensional computers, the quantum computation, we're opening ourselves up to different spiritual realms, and those realms do have an effect on our world, and they have an effect on the people that are connecting to them. And I think that's becoming very obvious if you look at all the people that have capitulated and played along, you know, with you know, the game of life, so to speak, of what's going on to, you know, now and today. I've seen a drastic and dire change in society, in the way that people treat one another, just the lack of empathy, the lack of compassion, the lack of care for anyone or anything, you know. And that's what they want. You know, that's what they want. If you ever read the book, you know, 1984, right? When you create that sense of struggle, that's why they never allow there to be a surplus, really, of anything. You know, there's never going to be a surplus of food in the world for everybody to eat, and clothing and shelter. Even if there's enough for everyone, they use a monetary system to create deficiency. That way we will constantly be mowing each other over to try to get to the top of the pile. I call that the king of the ashes. You know, it's like some people will burn the whole fucking world down just to be king of the ashes. And that seems to be the mentality that everyone has now. You know, try being down on your luck and asking somebody for help. You know, see how many people will actually help you. You know, like, I'm just being genuine with you. Try that and see how it works out for you. Try being broke down on the side of the road and just asking a person to use their cell phone. You know, you'll be hard pressed to find one person that'll even let you use their cell phone to make a call for AAA or something if you don't have yours. Let alone, going online and, doing something that's based on the generosity of others and kindness of others like this. Like, it's just, people have changed and their hearts have gotten cold. And it said that this would happen. The Bible said that this would happen. That, people's love would grow cold, and it would be, brother against brother and father against son. And that's what we're doing to each other, whether we realize it or not. When we attack one another, like, you're attacking your brother. Whether if it's just gossiping or what, you're wounding another person when you shoot negativity at them, and you're wounding yourself and your legacy, and what you stand for when you do those things. And I'm not going to sit and act like I've never done those things, but it was because I was spiritually immature, at that time. And as we grow and evolve, we have to see the connectedness of all of us, and that if one of us are in lack, or if one of us are suffering, or one of us are down, then we're all down. And we can never truly rise above, why we are okay with other people suffering in the world, and why we're okay with other people being in darkness and ignorance in the world. A lot of the spiritual community pushes that, well, if I'm good, then it's all good. But that really is a selfish mentality. And we should be pursuing growth and evolution in ourselves. That way we can better help the rest of the world. And I feel like people have definitely lost sight of that, and with so many people psychoanalyzing spirituality now, they act like there's something fucked up or defective in you if you do have hard times. They're like, oh, well, you should be a master manifester. You should never need help, or you should never be depressed, or you should never be sad, or you should never be down. That's life, man. Shit happens. And people go through trials and tribulations. And without those things, a lot of us would never grow. A lot of us would never get better or become better versions of ourselves. So we need those things sometimes, and that's the way I'm trying to perceive the world right now. It's like, we're just got our backs against the wall, so it's time to grow. It's time to level up. And it's not always a bad thing. Zombie ice from Greenland will raise sea level 10 inches, study warns. Zombie ice from the massive Greenland ice sheet will eventually raise global sea level by at least 10 inches or 27 centimeters on its own, according to a study released Monday. Zombie or doomed ice, it's doomed, ice that is still attached to thicker areas of ice but is no longer getting fed by those larger glaciers. That's because the parent glaciers are getting less replenishing snow. Meanwhile, the doomed ice is melting from climate change, says study co-author William Colgan, a glaciologist at the Geological Survey of Denmark and Greenland. It's dead ice. It's just going to melt and disappear from the ice sheet, Colgan said in an interview. This ice has been consigned to the ocean regardless of what climate emission scenario we take now. And and this is, I point this out quite frequently because it's big. It's an indicator of the times and the cycle and how we're wrapping up cycles. When those glacial ice sheets do break off and that doomsday glacier pops off, the tsunamis and the things that it's going to generate are going to have catastrophic effects on the world. And it's going to be a fuck ton more than 10 inches of sea level raised. They're being very conservative with that estimation, and by putting it out 500 years from now or 1,000 years from now is being super conservative with that estimation, considering the rate of declination that we're seeing things, take place now. Shit's happening, and it's happening fast. And that's why we have this everywhere, right? That's why we have all of these drills everywhere in the world's militaries everywhere. They're in preparation, like they're getting ready to clean up the mess. And it's like people just don't even see it coming. Like they have no clue. Britain's largest warship stops en route to U.S. due to mechanical issue. I mean, to me, this is very symbolic of the Western powers and that whole fucking royal line and its fall in power, right? The warship breaking down and shit. It's like, the West is breaking down, And the Bible says that too, right? In Revelation 16:12, it says, "From the dust of the Euphrates makes way for the kings of the East," talking about the war in Syria. That would be kind of this symbolic time where we see the East kind of rise in power and really overtake the West, and that's what we're seeing. Britain's largest warship, the HMS Prince of Wales, has been forced to stop on its way to the U.S. following an emerging mechanical issue. Shortly after departure, the Royal Navy has said. On Saturday, the aircraft carrier left Portsmouth, southern England, en route to join exercises off the east coast of North America. And see, these are exercises off of the east coast of North America. They're running exercises everywhere. If you can't tell that world government's already in effect, then you're probably blind. And if you think that you're safe in America, and if you think that you're safe if you wear a MAGA hat, or if he comes back in office, you're very blind. That's all I'm going to say about that one. NASA's Artemis 1 mission moon rocket launch scrubbed after delays. And remember, Artemis was peace on the moon, right? So we had the Middle Eastern peace deal and then peace on the moon, and now Artemis mission is being scrubbed. Like that, to me, also symbolic. It's like saying to hell with peace, as we have all these exercises taken off. The rocket was set to lift off on a mission to put a crew capsule with 3 test dummies into orbit around the moon. The decision to call off the launch comes after crews working on the project encountered an issue chilling down engine number 3, amongst other factors, according to the Artemis mission manager Mike Serafin. "We need the engine to be cryogenically cool temperature to such that when it starts, that it's not shocked with all the cold fuel that flows through it. So we need a little extra time to assess that." And I've said this once, I'll say it again. If you ever want to create the biggest scam in the world, just tell people you're going to space. The money you can fucking get from that, Jesus, man. They've scammed the shit out of people with the tax dollars of, going to planets and all these missions as they send you CGI images of the goddamn things. And people act like that's good enough. And you still have the staunch defenders, too, of NASA out there, which I don't know how at this point you can defend anything, right? They're telling you, and we'll look at it, but they're telling you that they're going to literally take a tuna can and smash into a giant asteroid, and that's supposed to stop it, and people believe it. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, sidelined by Putin, ridiculed UK. The Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu is regularly ridiculed and sidelined by President Vladimir Putin as the war against Ukraine has stalled, British intelligence said Monday. Russian officers and soldiers with first-hand war experience have likely routinely mocked Shoigu for his ineffectual and out-of-touch leadership as Russian progress has slowed, the UK's defense ministry said in an intelligence update on Twitter. Shoigu, originally from Russia's remote Tuva region, became the Kremlin's Minister of Emergency Situations around the time of the collapse of the Soviet Union. And I just seen a thing, too, that was talking about that Russia basically almost economically collapsed yesterday. So, if that's an indicator of how close we are to wartime, I think then, that's a real indicator. If they're, Putin is a guy who likes to stay in control of everything. So if he's sidelining dude, they're on the verge of economic collapse, that could be, and not to mention, like I said, all the global exercises and shit, even off the east coast of North America. That could be, and that's the side I believe Russia would come on. I don't know if anybody's ever, visited the East Coast, but there's a lot of Russians that are already in place there. So just saying, if you really look at what would be a really opportune moment, for U.S. to strike or whatever, which would put Russia on the defensive, it would be, right on the cusp of an economic collapse or the change of, the war minister, things like that. So you might want to look out for, major aggression from Russia, and you see what's already going on with Taiwan. So there's been a lot of people that's already been captivated by that. I think a lot of this shit is a big puppet show, right, to keep us watching them instead of watching the skies and watching the world and what's really going on, and most importantly, to keep us from looking inwardly and learning about ourselves and growing spiritually. A substantial stratospheric cooling event is now being observed over the southern hemisphere following a massive injection of water vapor. Strong cold anomalies are being detected in the stratosphere over the southern hemisphere. The anomalous cooling results in the water vapor coming from the January Hunga Tonga eruption. Cooling on this scale has not been seen in modern satellite records, so this is a significant event. We'll look at what's happening with temperatures in the southern stratosphere and how it actually happened and will impact our side of the planet. All the clouds in our weather are found in the lowest layer of the atmosphere, and it reaches up around 5 miles altitude over the polar regions and up to 14 to 16 or 9 to 10 miles over the tropics. Above it, there is a much deeper layer called the stratosphere, the layer around 30 kilometers thick and is very dry. This is where the ozone layer is found, and you can see the layers of the atmosphere in the image below, with the troposphere on the bottom and the stratosphere and ozone layer above it. These layers are important because while our weather is the lowest part of the atmosphere, this can be heavily modified by the impacts from above, especially the stratosphere is known for its effects in changing regard to the polar vortex. Every year as we head into autumn, the North Pole starts to cool down, but the atmosphere further south is still relatively warm as it continues to receive energy from the sun. While the polar regions receive much less over time, you can see the winter solstice below. And I think the real question, just to get to the shit over here, when you have this major cooling, is coming from where we would consider, under the ecliptic, like what is creating that? Just like within the South Atlantic anomaly, creating that negative polarity that's repelling our magnetic poles. And all this, you would think, wouldn't be taking place because of the increased activity in our sun. We've had massive plasmatic ejections from the sun, and we're in maximum. So we should have an increase in solar activity, and there shouldn't be this real, massive cooling effect that's taking place. But if you think about it, a lot of the plasma that's been bursting out has been what we've been calling dark plasma. And I've even pointed out before how the skies, they have the red and the pink tint, that this is an indicator that maybe something is wrong with the sun. It doesn't always mean Nemesis. It doesn't always mean Planet X. It could actually mean that the sun is running out of hydrogen and starting to burn off helium. So I just want to point these things out. And, if our skies are red, the sun's burning off fucking helium, and the plasmatic ejections during this maximum are bursting out dark energy instead of positive ions. And then we're getting a cooling effect during a time that there should actually be, more of the positive energy that's flowing down there. And we have this negative polarity spot that's repelling our poles in a different direction. Maybe there's something actually going on really fucking serious with the sun that we're not being told about. And remember, there are many, many smart people that believe by 2038, we will actually be in the moment of recurring, micronova, that we'll have our solar flare, our solar flash event, So I do see like there definitely is something amiss with the sun, and that that affects our weather, and that's what's creating all of the magnetic flux. That's what's creating all of the weird ass auroras on the ionosphere. You can't trap it all up to HAARP at this point, because the sun's acting funky too. So I mean, a lot of people believe that the whole reason for creating a simulation within a simulation is because they know that this mass extinction event that we're kind of in the midst of right now could be the final extinction event, and that they're trying to create some type of simulated reality, data mining our consciousness, locking us into some kind of magnetic frequency. That way we can continue on. A lot of people believe that AI and all that is the saving grace of humanity, and it's not the imprisonment like most of us believe it is. But to me, this is a transition, and at the end of this cycle, it's like a transitional phase dimensionally. We're actually upgrading, from to a non-physical species, some more like an interdimensional species, and we don't need the planet per se as we once did, because we'll have the ability to create our own dimensional realities. But if they destroy that ability, well, then you'll be totally dependent on whatever reality they create down here, and whatever frequency they lock you into when you get that tattoo. So just saying, lots of weird shit pointing to lots of weird shit. But that's kind of like an everyday occurrence now. Former head of Mossad says group carried out ops in the heart of Iran to cripple the nuclear program. This is not surprising. Israeli officials are dumbfounded at President Biden's push to return to the Iran nuclear deal. Israel's Mossad carried out operations in the heart of Iran to cripple the country's nuclear program, according to former Mossad chief Yossi Cohen. Cohen made the statement during a speech at the World Zionist Organization event in Basel, Switzerland on Monday. He stated that Iran had repeatedly lied to the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency about its nuclear program, and Mossad operations played a key role in unmasking the regime. Quote, the Iranian regime is lying to the whole world, and we proved it when we brought thousands of documents from the Iranian archives, documents that proved that the Iranians lied to the IAEA. And, this is just, we know that Israel's got a hard-on for Iran already, right? And this is part of the whole holy war and the prophetic shit and Armageddon and all of that, right? And we know that Mossad's not been so kind to American politics for quite a while now. No matter how much the CIA tends to work with them, it's like the country that probably backstabs us the most is the country that we fight for the most. And that's all I'll say about that. Atlantic heating up with tropical storm formation expected this week. We could see tropical storm Danielle form, but it's unclear whether it will threaten land. And this is becoming, more and more. They're doing exercises off of the East Coast, so maybe they're expecting something bigger than what they're telling us. After a sleepy start to the hurricane season, the Atlantic is awakening. Tropical storm likely to develop this week from disturbance east of the Lesser Antilles and Bahamas and even creeps. The National Hurricane Center in Miami estimates a nascent tropical disturbance has an 80% chance of eventual maturation into a tropical depression or named storm. Such a disturbance earns a name when a maximum sustained winds reach 39 miles per hour and becomes a hurricane. Once those hit 74 miles per hour, Danielle is the next name on the Hurricane Center's list. Really the build-up to peak hurricane season in the Atlantic, but thus far the basin has been largely dormant. If August draws close to Wednesday without a single named storm forming, it will be the first empty August since '97. As it stands, the Atlantic is only running about 8% of average in terms of the ACE, or accumulated cyclone energy, a measure of the total atmospheric energy released by tropical storms and hurricanes. And, this is kind of the thing. Remember, we talk a lot about cyclonic energy, right? And how that's part of, the cyclical nature of cosmic energy that flows within, our planet from the sun, you know, as a whole, down up through the crust, seismic, volcanic energy. And if you think about it, we haven't had super, super large celestial bodies that have been passing to really trigger a lot of this. Things have been relatively calm. But I wouldn't like hold my breath on this because, like I said, even though there's been a lot of negative polarity when it comes to what the sun's been giving off, we still have had a lot of geomagnetic storms. So, you know, I wouldn't give up just yet on things really intensifying. And we know with weather modification and geoengineering, there's been a lot of, you know, shit elsewhere, right? Monsoons and things like that. And not to mention just the vortex of the way that the, you know, the weather currents flow has changed dramatically. So what may have used to happen in August will happen in October or something. So, you know, I feel like they don't ever include those things when they talk about the weather, you know, and we'll know if it's modified or not, because what usually will generally happen is as this thing approaches into land, it'll stop, build up energy, and then come pummeling down, you know, fucking everything up. So, you know, I feel like they've hit the East Coast quite a bit, so they're probably not too worried about it. Greenland ice will also raise sea levels by 1 foot by 2100, study shows. And see, this is just another on the glacial ice, and they always make their estimations by, you know, 100 years out, 500 years out. I just think it's going to come way sooner. It says the finding in the Nature Journal shows 3.3% of Greenland's ice will melt, the equivalent of 110 trillion tons of ice. 10 inches of sea level rise, more than twice as much sea level rise as researchers previously calculated from the melting of the ice sheet, right? So it's already doubled from their previous calculations. You know, that's just letting you know that that's the trajectory that we're headed on. And I've told people for a long time, you know, you live within 100, 200 miles of the coast, you might want to reconsider, you know, your location. Because I say within a decade, you know, things are going to change dramatically. NASA will crash a spacecraft into a 525-foot wide asteroid in September. Here's how to watch it. Asteroids frequently get close to striking Earth, but it's been more than 65 million years since a catastrophic collision with the planet has renewed interest in objects hurtling towards us. The Space Agency's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, will crash into asteroid Dimorphos within orbits of a larger named Didymos next month. Scientists, neither asteroid is headed towards Earth, but Dimorphos is estimated 520 feet long, an asteroid that could cause significant damage if it were to hit Earth. And they reference Don't Look Up. Regardless of the outcome, the mission will give astronomers and scientists important data on whether the response will be if an asteroid is on collision course with Earth. No threats exist now, scientists say. We don't want to be in a situation where an asteroid's headed towards Earth and then we have to be testing that kind of capability. We want to know about both the spacecraft works and what the reaction will be before we ever get in a situation like that. You know, and I told you guys last year, I think that they do know of some type of situation, and that's why they're testing this shit. You know, who knows? They could be lying about the trajectory of Didymos and Dimorphos, just to keep it all the way real. You know, like, you never know with these motherfuckers. They tell you, you know, an asteroid passed, you know, oh, we didn't see it till, you know, after it passed, or, you know, we didn't see it till, you know, 5 minutes before it passed. It came from behind the sun. You know, they got all this technology. It's like you really can't believe anything that comes out of NASA's mouth. You know, anybody that's going to fake images of planets isn't the most reliable source for really anything. We'll take a look at the eyes on asteroids and just see, you know, what is on the asteroid watch. Let's take a look here. Yeah, right now, and you can see Earth is the blue line here. Right within close proximity here, we have 2022 QX1, and that's 5 hours 55 minutes. 1 day, 5 hours 55 minutes. The distance of 2 million kilometers. And this is actually one of the 5. 2022 QZ6. This is 35 meters. And this is 1.2 million kilometers on August 31st. 2022 CQ5, September 1st, 6 meters long. This is 3.3 million kilometers. And September 1st as well, 31 meters. And this is 2022 QB2, 3.9 kilometers. And 2022 QN5, 21.8 meters on the second. And that's 936,000 kilometers. That's in 3 days. So that's what's around the Earth right now. You guys can actually see them moving in real time. Eyes on asteroids. It's really actually a cool site if you guys ever want to check it out. It gives you like a real kind of perspective, because whenever they put that shit in articles and stuff and tell you about the distance in space, you know, it's kind of hard to fathom with the astronomical units and all of that. But then when you actually look on here, you can really get a look at how close the shit is, right? And it allows you to zoom in. You know, you can see for yourself, like, whether the tail of these things are going to actually cause any issues, or, you know, whether they're going to, you know, and you can see, right, exactly the depth of the Earth and where we would be influenced by. Moving forward, Earth is playing a crucial role in turning the moon permanently red. Now, if this isn't biblical, I don't know what is, right? It talks about the sun will turn black as sackcloth of goat hair, and the moon will turn to blood, right, in the last days. And I just got done saying how we see the skies turning red and pink, and that could be, you know, indicative of the hydrogen running out of the sun, and we're starting to burn helium because the sun could actually be going out, right? We're seeing massive sunspots, and some of these sunspots actually have reverse polarities on them too. I just showed that the other day. And these massive geomagnetic storms that are happening during the maximum. So the sun could be blowing off all of this plasma and stuff as it's essentially could be going dark. We don't know what direction we're headed in, but now to see that the moon turning red as well. Jupiter, the biggest planet with 79 moons, and Saturn, the second largest planet with its own 82 moons, have nearly 75% of over 200 moons orbiting several major and dwarf planets in the solar system per NASA. Jupiter's 4 massive moons maintain the king planet's faint ring system via the Planetary Society. According to NASA, Saturn moons stabilize the planet's rings by orbiting or near the rings. In addition, the Australian Academy of Science reports that at least 2 of the Saturn's icy and Jupiter plane-like moons have potential to support life. Though scientists have yet to find evidence of life beyond Earth, the Earth's moon holds the distinction of being the only celestial body visited by humans so far. Whether Earth's sole natural satellite or the brightest object in the sky after the sun can harbor life is still being explored, the moon is instrumental in helping sustain life on Earth by stabilizing the orbital axis and climate per space.com. So while the moon is essential to Earth's functioning, is Earth returning the favor? Mars, or the red planet, which is rich in iron, has traces of brine, water, and oxygen. Rust is formed when the iron is exposed to oxygen and water, so it's likely the reason Mars has a rusty surface. So there's clear evidence that the moon has oxygen, air, and water necessary to sustain life as well. The presence of rust on the lunar surface has come as a shock to scientists. So them talking about, you know, the iron and all of that content that actually is turning the moon red, you know, this kind of does play into the whole Planet X thing in Nemesis, right? It's supposed to be, you know, the iron oxide or, you know, iron dust that's blowing off of it. And, you know, they're saying because of the elements that the moon is made up that we can essentially see the moon, you know, turn more like Mars with its reddish color. So, you know, you can read into that as much as you want. Actually, this one's cool. Mysterious purple clouds over Pozo Almonte, Chile, mystify residents. You can actually see, right, the purple clouds there. A purple cloud mysteriously appeared in the sky above the town of Pozo Almonte in Chile, leaving the residents bewildered on Sunday morning. Incredible images show the purple tint stretching across the skyline during the daytime. Right, and remember in the Colburn, it talks about, you know, like this ruddy glow and billowing clouds of smoke that are indicative of the destroyer. After several residents contacted the police, officials launched a probe into the purple haze, which is believed to be caused as a result of iodine vapor seeping from a Kala mine. And seeing that, to me, the fact that and that's where I was going to go with it too. We've seen methane explosions, sulfur leaks, where the natural gas plants are exploding in Cuba and shit. That's a sign of crustal displacement. These gases leaking out, and they are what we see create the auroras. And once they, hit on the ionosphere, you can see the color of them based on, the gas that they're made up of. It says the mine site reportedly owned by Saltpetre and Iodine Company. The cloud was formed due to a pump failure. We're carrying out an inspection which tells us the incident was due to the failure of the motor of the impeller pump. As per environmental officials, the fault caused iodine at the mine to change from a solid to a gaseous state. Upon receiving heat, the element forms a violet vapor. Iodine in its pure form is also purple. Right? And there's some type of fault down in the mine that actually created the gas to leak and heated it up, and that's what created the color. I'm going to show you the purple flame right here. Let's see if we can. Oh, shit. We don't actually need the music. Household aluminum. Iodine pellets poured on top of it. And you see once the heat is added, that it will actually start to turn purple. Right? Just like the color that we've seen there from the mines. Boom. Right? So it just kind of proves that it actually was what they said it is. Just another story in India. Your daily dose of natural disasters. Look at this. Hitler for men. I mean, yeah. In India, Hitler word is synonym to a person who is very strict and authoritative, but it does seem rather unlikely or coincidental that there's the name Hitler and a swastika and a red, white, and gray colored scheme. You decide. Like, for real? Oh my God. There's a global crisis in male reproductive health. Evidence comes from globally declining sperm counts and increasing male reproductive system abnormalities. Sperm counts is declining by 1% every year. It doesn't show any signs of stopping. It's already fell by 50% in the past 50 years. And you know what? I just want to say, and if we continue this way, we'll soon have the elites marching for the rights to have, right? Because we have the zoophile and fucking, the bestiality shit. That's now, it's legal in certain places or whatever. I've mentioned this before, and I don't like to be graphic, but I do just want to point out, like, when you see declining, sperm counts and so many people, there's a million commercials for erectile dysfunction. And I just want to tell people that if your person or whatever has problems with that, one of the things that I think could really help that, and I think has a lot to do with those systems, is your chakras and the alignment of your chakras, right? So if you find yourself in alignment spiritually, right, and your chakra system is aligned and you have no blockages, especially, down in your lower three, right, I think that we wouldn't have those problems so prominent in society, because most people that practice spiritual practices, the whole reason that comes about of Tantra and the practice of Tantra, or your own Tantra or sexual energy, is a spiritual energy. So the reason that we're seeing, reproduction fall, of course, is they're putting fucking metal in cereal and shit like that, and, chemicals in water. That's definitely got an effect, right? So the way that people are eating and, all of that is probably affecting that. But also, I think it's the lack of spirituality. I told you guys, even in episodes in the past, the Ankh represents, your sexual energy. And it was said that the masters of Egypt could actually take their sexual energy, Ankh it over their head, back into their bodies, and they could essentially have children at will, right? They decided when when they passed their seed on. That's how much control they had of their prana, or they had of their own spiritual essence. And I believe that's a direct result of your chakras being in alignment and you being spiritually. And I can say that even as a younger man, when I was younger, I didn't have near the health that I have now as I become spiritual over the years. And I've even had like nerve damage from car crashes healed and all kinds of shit after my awakening, right? And it almost, when you really study, how the chakra system works and how much it affects the dynamics of the body, you'll understand that this is probably the big reason why so many men out there do have these issues, So just saying. Maybe get your dude to meditate or something. Maybe that'll help him out a little bit, And who's sponsoring the U.S. Open? Yeah. I mean, are you surprised? The mode RNA. It's just the way things are going. It's the way they're pushing the agenda. It's the way they're pushing everybody. Transhumanism. Nobody be worried about chakras before too long. Nobody be worried about anything. They'll be receiving signals and frequencies that does all the thinking for them. It's the one thing that is the most valuable, which is our humanity, that we cannot lose. And it's like, that's the thing that we're giving up when we capitulate to these agendas. The worse we treat each other, that's the thing we're giving up. The worse we treat ourselves, that's the thing we're giving up. The one thing that can't be taken and only be given. And it's like we're giving it without a fight. So you can't make people care about something. You can't make people want to be aware of the unseen and want to harness their own power for good. And to do amazing things in this world, and to pursue greatness, and pursue love, and, to try to make and shape a better world. You can't make people want that. But that's why these cycles end. It's almost like a cleansing or a purification, because we get into the state that we're in now as a whole, So the best thing we can do is to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Do the most we can do for each other, and show love and compassion and empathy in all that we do. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Like I said, tonight, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, join me on Discord for the private show. This will be the last one for the month of August. Everybody who donates now will be able to watch all of September. I am asking everyone to please consider supporting and donating. August was such a hard month. It was the worst month I've had in the whole time of doing this. So just as a favor from me to you, will you please help me out and donate and give? I am starting a new project and new channels, and definitely could use the help and support from everybody that's able to do so. It is greatly appreciated. And join the Best Damn Fan, $35 a month. Book your personal tarot reading, $50, or your soul profile, $100. Those also help tremendously. It's Virgo season. It's time for nurturing, healing, and serving others. This is a big transformation. Time to get ourselves organized and be in service to others, So capitalize on that. Take care of yourself, take care of other people. And even though this will be like the last month that we're doing everything, I look at it as a chance or an opportunity